Regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old.
Help me raise $100,000 as soon as I can so I can move to an undisclosed location where I am safe. They had cops come and check for a rope in my garage saying I wanted to hang myself.
And she eventually said, look, they are little people who should not be at an adult party.
We intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
A wave of 25 new lawsuits has intensified the growing controversy surrounding Sean Diddy Combs, with disturbing allegations claiming the abuse of minors. As the scandal unfolds, major voices, including 50 Cent, are speaking out, raising questions about how young stars such as Justin Bieber and Aaron Carter may have been exposed to troubling situations early in their careers. With Hollywood's darkest rumors now under intense scrutiny, the story is quickly becoming one of the most explosive scandals in entertainment history. Stay with us as we break down 50 Cent's recent remarks and the shocking claims linking this controversy to the tragic story of Aaron Carter.
I go on my Twitter and I see people saying, you look like you have AIDS, you should go die. I don't understand how I dedicated 22 years of my life to my fans, and now they turn on me.
Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old.
Aaron Carter rose to fame at an astonishingly young age, releasing his self-titled debut album when he was just 9 years old and quickly becoming one of the most recognizable child stars in pop music. While his career appeared to be on a path towards superstardom, with massive fame and financial success, behind the scenes, troubling allegations suggest he faced intense pressure and possible exploitation within the darker side of the entertainment industry. Reports have also claimed that those closest to him were aware of his struggles with mental health and personal trauma, yet meaningful intervention may not have come when he needed it most, adding another tragic layer to his complicated story.
Carter begged for help in front of the world. He begged for financial support to help get him a private security team to keep him alive. He said on numerous occasions, if anything happens to me, I promise you, I am not title, and no one said anything.
Silence breaker for my brother, who is a artist, and they're after my life. My whole family is after my life, and they're setting me up. And Sony Records owes me $3.5 million, and they don't want to pay me, and it would be in their better interest, just like Michael told me. They owe me money, and they're trying to off. And I'm begging you and I'm pleading you, help me raise $100,000 as soon as I can so I can move to an undisclosed location where I am safe. They had cops come and check for a rope in my garage saying I wanted to hang.
One person believed to have understood Aaron Carter's struggles was Justin Bieber, who also rose to fame at a very young age and faced the intense pressures that come with child stardom. Bieber was discovered by Scooter Braun at just 13 and was later mentored by Usher, rapidly entering the powerful circles of the music industry. As discussions about the darker side of fame continue to surface, some critics argue that young performers like Carter and Bieber were placed in environments where they were vulnerable to manipulation by powerful figures, including allegations tied to Sean Diddy Combs, claims that remain part of an ongoing and highly controversial debate about how the entertainment industry treats its youngest stars.
Flown out to Atlanta by a manager. His name's Scooter Braun. Flown out to Atlanta just to meet with him and meet different producers and different people. I was actually going to meet Jermaine Dupri at his studio. And who rolls up? Usher in his Range Rover. It rolls up, and I was like, is that who I think it is? And Scooter was like, yeah. And so I ran up to him and I was like, Usher, I love your songs. You want me to sing you one? And he was like, let's just go inside, little buddy. It's cold out. So the politest possible way he could say no, he did. And I was like, wow, he just turned me down. And I was a little disappointed. He had to go into a studio session, so I was like, whatever. And a week later, he actually watched my videos with my manager and was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I let him sing? So flew me back to Atlanta where I got to meet him again, and he wanted to sign me. But there was something else.
Justin Timberlake, right?
Yes, Justin Timberlake also wanted to sign me. It was like kind of like, what happened was Justin Timberlake and Usher both went into a ring and boxed it out. And the outcome was Usher. I think it was
Back in 2009, Sean Diddy Combs publicly spent time mentoring a young Justin Bieber, who was only 15 at the time. Footage from that period has since resurfaced online, sparking renewed debate and speculation among viewers about the nature of their interactions during those early days of Bieber's career. In one widely discussed clip, Bieber appears noticeably uncomfortable while speaking with Diddy on camera, fueling ongoing questions from critics and fans about what really happened during that time. Although many interpretations circulate online, no verified evidence has confirmed the more extreme claims, and much of the conversation remains part of the broader controversy surrounding Diddy's public image.
In a strange way, you know.
Like Robin Big.
Yeah, it's like exactly.
I'm big and you're Robin.
Yeah. No, I mean, to a lot of us, he's like a little brother. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid to call and ask for advice. He's somebody that, in the industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family, and he's somebody that, you know, we definitely have our arms around, and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person. Besides his talent, you know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest kids that you could ever know.
Justin, you know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, you know, he could buy you one also while you're out.
He got me a Lamborghini. And
well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Apparently not.
Some things, everything ain't fair.
What Justin Bieber and Aaron Carter may have endured during their rise to fame was never their responsibility. It was the duty of the adults and industry figures around them to protect them. Instead, critics argue that the very system meant to guide young stars often exposed them to serious risks. Allegations have circulated claiming that Usher helped introduce the young Bieber to Sean Diddy Combs early in his career, a connection that has since drawn intense scrutiny as debates continue about how the entertainment industry treats its youngest talents.
Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler.
Some critics allege that a troubling cycle within the industry may trace back decades, pointing to stories involving Usher and Sean Diddy Combs. Usher has previously spoken about spending time with Diddy as a teenager at what was known as Puffy's Flavor Camp, describing an environment where he witnessed adult situations he says he did not fully understand at the time. Those past comments have resurfaced in current debates, with some observers raising questions about whether early experiences in the industry may have influenced later relationships and decisions involving younger artists.
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shouts out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, I don't want it to come close to the bed, at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Usher.
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
what the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes. And we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid. Listen.
We're having a good time.
A twist that has fueled even more speculation. Some critics claim the relationship between Usher and Sean Diddy Combs remained unusually close well into adulthood. Leaked footage from one of Diddy's parties has circulated online, showing the two together and sparking renewed debate. In that clip, Diddy makes a controversial remark suggesting they once shared a bed, an offhand comment that quickly ignited widespread discussion and raised fresh questions about the dynamics of their long-standing connection within the music industry.
Dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bruh, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in the mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right when you was at Diddy.
This controversy goes far beyond what some might dismiss as a simple joke. For years, rumors have circulated about the alleged relationship between Usher and Sean Diddy Combs, with various insiders claiming the connection was far more complicated than it appeared publicly. In a recent episode of The Art of Dialogue, Diddy's former bodyguard and head of security, Gene Deal, spoke at length about what he says he witnessed behind the scenes, alleging that Diddy manipulated and groomed Usher during their early years in the industry, claims that have only intensified the ongoing debate surrounding the mogul's past.
People have been trying to drag Justin Bieber into this situation because there's a lot of suspect looking videos with Diddy and Bieber in it, and they're making a lot of allegations.
Mm-hmm. Same way they made allegations about Usher when Usher was younger.
I mean, do you think that there's any credibility to these allegations?
When there's smoke, there's fire. Why would Diddy be tapping his kid in his chest to see if he wired? And asking him, are you wired? Why would he be confronting that kid? Why would Justin Bieber make a song about, what is it? I got smashed at a Diddy party or something like that? Why? There's reasons behind all this. So, where there's smoke, there's fire, Cam. I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, Justin, he's been real quiet about this. I mean, I think like a lot of the other celebrities.
I was reading something, Cam, and the kid say, after he went to Diddy camp, he started using drugs so heavy and was smashed every day. What would cause a kid who wanted to be an artist in the music business all of a sudden to start getting high and drinking and drugging, popping pills and smoking? What would cause a kid to do that?
I mean, usually trauma.
Or a Diddy party.
Welcome to the family, John.
As we continue peeling back the layers of this unfolding scandal, a far more complex and troubling picture begins to emerge. Behind the headlines lies a tangled web of allegations, silence, and unanswered questions, one that appears to stretch across some of the most powerful circles in Hollywood. with figures like Sean Diddy Combs repeatedly at the center of controversy. Many are beginning to wonder just how deep these connections truly run. If even major stars may have been caught in the shadows of this system, the lingering question becomes impossible to ignore. How far does the truth go, and who, if anyone, was truly pulling the strings behind it all?
I'm going to start with Tania Wallace, who claims she's been at a freak-off and said she saw children, and it was hard for her to say it.
It was very hard for her to say it, Ashley. So what she said was that she was flown out from LA to Miami by the Saudi prince. And they ended up eventually on Star Island at one of Diddy's parties. She says, you know, among many other things, I mean, she goes into detail. This, she says, happened in 2018. She says that she walked into the house and there was a cluster of adults around what she described as little people. And they were dressed up as Japanese Barbies. I forgot the name. It's Harak something. You can help me out here. It's a certain type of Barbie. Anyway.
I know the name, but I've forgotten it. But go ahead.
So she explained that that they were just clustered around these little people. And I kept pushing her. And she eventually said, look, they are little people who should not be at an adult party. And I pushed her, and it was apparent what she was saying is they were minors. Now, she didn't see anything specific that was going on with them other than that adults were kind of huddled around them. But she told just a wild story about what was going on at the house, even at 7 a.m, that this thing apparently raged all night long.
You know, it's amazing. TMZ always gets such great scoops, and this one might be one of your best as well. You got a hold of one of the freak-off tapes. Your producers have seen it. The description is, and I'll quote, "It's porn directed by Diddy himself." And a male sex worker really sort of walks through what happened in the experiences that he had. They didn't sound illegal, but they sure seem to comport with a lot of the other stories that have been told.
Yeah. So the this was a threesome. What you would ask me about earlier about Tania Wallace, she said there were more than 100 people at that party, including at least 4 celebrities. But this, what you're talking about now, was a threesome, and that's something that the U.S. attorney even referenced, and his lawyer in an earlier documentary we did. He was describing threesomes. He says it was all consensual. So yes, what we're told is that this male sex worker was flown out to various locations over a couple of years: Miami, New York, Los Angeles, and one other.
New developments are surfacing almost daily, and the latest revelations may be among the most disturbing yet. According to emerging reports, several previously unseen recordings allegedly linked to Sean Diddy Combs have begun circulating behind the scenes. After one tape reportedly involving Usher and Kevin Hart drew widespread attention, investigators claim additional recordings have been uncovered that could significantly deepen the controversy. Media outlets, including TMZ, report that several of these tapes are now under scrutiny as authorities work to verify their contents and determine the full scope of the allegations surrounding the case.
Wait a minute. There were other people who were signaling to us that something was very wrong with Diddy, and they were virtually just being laughed out of the room. One person who was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent. And it turns out that it's just been announced that he's created a docu-series on Netflix. I can't wait to see this. And he is saying that it's a complex narrative that spans decades, which we are obviously realizing this, which should really make it clear to you that Hollywood is a tremendous evil. Everybody colluded to protect these secrets. They all were aware of it, and few spoke out. So Netflix is producing the docuseries from Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent, about the charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, as well as sexual assault and violent abuse allegations against Diddy Combs. And Alexandria Stapleton will be directing the project. I will be definitively watching this. They describe this as a story with significant human impact. It's a complex narrative spanning decades, not just the headlines or the clips that we have seen so far. And 50 Cent is exclusively speaking to to Variety, saying that he remains steadfast in his commitment to give a voice to the voiceless and to present authentic and nuanced perspectives. While the allegations are disturbing, we urge all to remember that Sean Combs' story is not the full story of hip-hop and its culture. We aim to ensure that individual actions do not overshadow the culture's broader contributions. Now, I would actually beg to differ. I would beg to differ on this because, like I said, I read that book, Hollywood Babylon, and as it traced, and again, that was movie culture, so they were kind of getting into the beginning of film, silent films, and making it clear that it was the carnies, the carnival people, the freaks that established Hollywood, and they were creating characters, and these people were drug addicted, sex addicted, and essentially they turned them into stars on screen because in many ways, they wanted to emulate, mock, and destroy the church.
Amid a growing storm of allegations and a wave of celebrities being linked to the controversy surrounding Sean Diddy Combs, one major voice has consistently spoken out: 50 Cent. Their rivalry stretches back to the early 2000s, and 50 Cent has never shied away from criticizing Diddy publicly. In recent statements, he has once again reignited the feud, even suggesting that unanswered questions still surround the tragic death of the notorious B.I.G., a claim that continues to fuel intense debate within the hip-hop world.
Now, Fifth, when you continuously call Puff gay, does that affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said,
Let me read it, Fifth.
Oh my God.
Sorry I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Dinner Thieves in theaters January.
That's what he says things. He doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he says something fabulous and he goes, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party. What is he talking about? That's the kind of stuff that when people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of take me. That's what a guy says to a girl.
According to claims that have circulated for years, 50 Cent once alleged that Sean Diddy Combs showed an unusual personal interest in him and even invited him on a private shopping trip, an invitation 50 Cent says he firmly declined. Since then, the rapper has kept his distance, frequently voicing suspicion about Diddy and pointing to the long-standing controversies surrounding the deaths of Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G., a mystery that continues to spark debate across the hip-hop world.
What he did to Cassie. With the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know that nobody in America liked that. So now, these people are represented by a brand. Whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies. They're not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them. And they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey, buddy, we got you on this tape. And girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape, because if he had 250 tapes all over, 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician. But they didn't think they was being watched. And Brother Love was.
A troubling question continues to surface across the industry. Why has only 50 Cent been so vocal about the allegations surrounding Sean Diddy Combs? Some observers suggest the silence may stem from fear rather than indifference. 4 years, rumors have circulated that Diddy meticulously documented what happened at his private parties, allegedly recording guests and later using that material as leverage. According to these claims, even individuals who did nothing wrong feared being compromised or misrepresented, creating a culture of silence that kept many powerful voices from speaking publicly.
There are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on. That's not to say that they were necessarily even involved in any of the things that are alleged by the U.S. Attorney's Office. But if you're at that party and it turns out that that's when he set up one of these freak-off sex parties, or that it was going on in another room and you didn't know about it, there's a good chance that you're going to be called by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And certainly if you were involved, you would get a call, because they're going to want to know everything you want to know and may even want you to be a witness. I just think, we're just starting to scratch the surface of what this case, this case is going to touch and involve. And the feds have said that this remains an open investigation. There could be more charges for Diddy. There could be more charges for other people involved. And usually the way this works is once they find out other people are involved or were witnesses, they bring them in and they sort of lean on them. And it's sort of like, you're going to cooperate with us, or there's a possibility that you could face charges. So this is going to be a slow developing case here, because we're just getting started. And I don't see how this trial begins anytime before next year.
Now that more names are reportedly beginning to surface, anxiety is spreading across multiple circles once connected to Sean Diddy Combs. Insiders claim that guests who once attended his exclusive gatherings, ranging from celebrities and athletes to powerful producers and even figures linked to British high society, are increasingly concerned about what potential recordings or evidence might reveal. As the story continues to unfold, the growing uncertainty surrounding these alleged tapes has left many wondering which names could emerge next and how far the ripple effects might ultimately reach.
Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, was drugged and then taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual, minor, was raped, and then other individuals took turns raping her. Another individual, 26 at the time of the occurrence, was picked up allegedly by Mr. Combs and several other people in a black SUV from the airport, was given one drink in the SUV, and then literally woke up the next day not knowing what had happened, but with pain and damage to both her vagina and her anus, where she then went to the hospital. She was missing her underwear and her shoes. Another instance, an individual, this time not a minor, attended a group dinner, allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something. She blacked out, and she woke up in the same bed, again allegedly, with Mr. Combs in his mansion in Miami. Her vagina and her anus were torn.
As more alleged victims step forward, the legal pressure surrounding Sean Diddy Combs continues to intensify. Houston attorney Tony Busby has reportedly filed more than 24 lawsuits naming Combs as a defendant, while his legal team claims that over 1,000 individuals have contacted the firm with potential allegations currently undergoing review. According to statements tied to the cases, many of the claims involve individuals who say they were minors at the time and were allegedly coerced or manipulated within environments connected to bad boy records, turning what once seemed like scattered accusations into a rapidly expanding legal battle that continues to draw intense public scrutiny.
We intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names. And you might imagine in situations like this, that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public. And, when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's. And I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
Reports suggest that additional executives could soon be identified as the legal case continues to expand. Once federal prosecutors from the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York move forward with formal charges, the individuals named as defendants are expected to be publicly revealed. That moment arrives, what has so far unfolded largely behind closed doors could rapidly shift into full public view, potentially exposing a far wider network of figures tied to the unfolding controversy.
Supporters of Sean Diddy Combs have come forward since our interview with Natanya Rubin, and you remember we talked to her. She says that Diddy is the one who shot her at that club. But the supporters are now saying that Diddy didn't even want to take a plea deal in the 1999 club shooting because he was, quote, so sure of his innocence. They also said that information from someone who is claiming things that aren't true, who's looking for a payday. They said payday is not going to change that. Natanya Rubin joins us once again now. Natanya, we appreciate your time again. First of all, I want to know your reaction to these people now around Diddy who are coming out in support of him, saying that he was so sure of his innocence and that that's the reason he didn't take a plea deal in the case that you were involved in where you got shot.
So first and foremost, Brian, thank you for having me back on. And I give very little credibility to what they're saying, because while everyone else is Monday morning quarterbacking, I am the survivor. And it is my assertion wholeheartedly that Mr. Combs was inappropriately charged originally. His charges should have mirrored that of Mr. Jamal Shine Barrow. He should have been charged with attempted murder, a reckless endangerment, criminal possession of a weapon, and firing that weapon in an open environment.
And you bring up Shine. One of the questions that I've gotten several times since the last time we spoke to you is that people want to know whether you believe that Shine was convicted of a crime he didn't commit, because he is the one who ultimately...
Absolutely not. Jamal Shine Barrow admitted on the Combat Jack podcast back in the days, rest in peace to Combat Jack, he admitted that he fired his gun and shot Julius Jones in the shoulder. Mr. Combs did not have accountability for what he did. I physically, who better to tell you what happened than the person who got shot smack dab in between my eyes?
Back then, Natanya, do you feel like they had made up their mind about who they were going to blame for this before they even talked to you, or?
Listen, here's what I know beyond a shadow of a doubt. Respectability politics. He was a notable figure. He was a multimillionaire. He had popularity, fame, all of a perfect storm of you get away with it. We know the country we live in. Unfortunately, those who have the money can oftentimes get away with their crimes. Unfortunately, and those who don't have the same social ranking are overlooked. And that's what has happened. By the grace of God, God saw fit to keep me whole, keep my mind sane and functioning, and keep me alive for such a time as this. And make no mistake, the gravity of the danger and the peril that I face and that I'm exposed to for having my say now, for what was done to me 24 years ago, is not lost on me. But let me make clear beyond a shadow of a doubt, I am not now, nor have I ever been suicidal. I love life. And I'm grateful that God spared my life back on that fateful day on December 27th, 1999.
For some alleged victims, the pursuit of justice has become deeply personal. Natania Rubin, who says she was shot during the 1999 nightclub incident involving Sean Diddy Combs and Jennifer Lopez, has stated that she is willing to undergo surgery to remove the bullet fragments still lodged in her skull if it could help strengthen the case against him. Her determination reflects the growing resolve among accusers who say they are prepared to go to extraordinary lengths to ensure the truth is fully uncovered and that those responsible are finally held accountable.